So this video is to talk about being free from anger. First, I think it's important to see quite clearly the faults of having an angry heart. We separate ourselves from the kindness, friendship of others and also animals, and I believe we separate ourselves from our deities. If we want beautiful, peaceful angels tapping us on the shoulder, and to be in contact with our deity, then if you're with anger, then this is not possible. So the many faults of anger, and also causing us anger floods the whole body with poisons. We're poisoning ourselves. Every time we have anger or hatred, we poison ourselves. Doesn't matter the object. Doesn't matter about the object. We're poisoning ourselves. So this is a terrible disease to have. Anger is a terrible disease to have. There is not one war in the whole world that hasn't been caused by anger. All the great sufferings of this whole world is because lack of love and so much anger. It's really terrible. It's the disease of the world. Don't worry about global warming. Worry about global hatred. That's the big problem. Alright, now what are we going to do? Contemplation on the faults of anger, definitely. You have to be very clear. Anger is a poison. Anger causes all misery and suffering. Anger separates me from my friends, and it is the cause of loneliness. It is the cause of having an ugly face. Sometimes angry people look like that. Horrible, isn't it? I don't want to look like that. Horrible. So it causes anger, ugliness, later on. So there are many faults. So contemplate the faults of anger and be very clear on it. This is a very serious thing we're talking about here. Ruins our life, ruins the life of others, causes others misery, suffering, harm. So quite clear on that one. Second one is to everybody has something that they love. It may be puppies, it may be birds, it may be little children and babies. Right? You start with something easy that you naturally love, and you think to yourself, may all these beings, the puppies and animals and birds and little children, may they have every happiness possible. May they have lovely food, lovely clothing, beautiful warm friends, loving family, so on. So you're contemplating, you're wishing those animals or those children happiness. And that's love. Love is wishing another happiness. Hatred is wishing someone to have misery and suffering. It's quite clear, isn't it? So we start with those people. You may have a very loving grandmother, something like that, or very loving mother. I was blessed with having a very loving mother and grandmother. Very sweet-natured and beautiful. So every time I think of my mother, my grandmother, then I get a lovely warm feeling. How kind they were, how happy we were together. We went for lovely walks, we went to art shows, and how sweet they were when they were suffering. Many beautiful qualities my mother and grandmother has. So we contemplate that, and then that opens your heart. You feel, if only they could have every happiness, every possible joy in the world. So when your heart opens like that, you're letting love out, and you're letting love in. You can even imagine breathing in golden light, and this golden light comes into your heart, opens your heart. You can do that for a little while, breathing in golden light, my heart opens up full of golden love, something like that. Also, there are mantras in Buddhist practice. There are mantras we can do, and I'm sure in Christianity there's prayers that you can do, and these help. And even listening to beautiful music. Some I listen to lovely choirs, and it just opens you up. You feel, oh, isn't this beautiful? Also, avoid movies. There's some horrible movies around, where people are being killed, and what's that one called Wire in the Blood? It's just horrible, and what was another one which I hated? I walked out, No Land for Old Men or something. It just made me feel terrible. So don't look and read of violent things. Even football. I don't like watching football. People bashing into each other. I know people love it, but I don't. Just, watch things that are nice, interesting, history and education and these things. Read some nice poetry. All this helps to open your heart. Open heart, then happiness is coming. More happiness and more joy. If you have an open heart, doesn't mean that people are allowed to walk over you. Dalai Lama doesn't say that. Dalai Lama says, if you meet people who are really difficult, who are harming you, then you must stand firm, but you don't lose your respect. That's very wise advice. Just because you have a loving heart doesn't mean your children walk over you. I had two very naughty boys, and also I teach at like a kindergarten and so on. So sometimes I have to look cross, like this, and say, that behaviour is very bad. I don't like that behaviour at all. Like this, So I have to look sort of wrathful looking. Otherwise they just laugh at me. Actually, they laugh at me anyway. But, I have joyful, loving relationships. Simple, isn't it? So have a think about those things. Of course, there's more we can do, but I just want to make an easy tape, and just some easy advice. We love to do what is easy and what is beautiful. So thank you very much for watching. All the best.